The Dodgers are not done making moves this offseason. One of their top players is on the way out, according to the latest report. Also, Alex Vesia. The Dodgers and Alex Vesia come to an agreement. We get into all that in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 30% of you, the ones who are watching these videos, who have already hit the sub button, but 69% of you have not subscribed yet. I'm not sure why. We're the best Dodger channel out there, myself and Brad J. You're not going to find content like this anywhere else on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and tell all your friends who like the Dodgers or just like baseball to hit the sub button. Tomorrow, we got the first ever live stream on Dodgers Digest, the first of many. We're going to try to do this at least once a week, and then when the season starts, there's going to be a lot more cool stuff coming your way. But tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, we're going to do the first ever Dodgers Digest live stream. Myself is going to be doing that live stream. This is the first one, so make sure to tune in tomorrow. Let's get right into it, though. The Dodgers predicted a trade, one of their relievers. Of course, as we know, Kirby Yates was signed. It's now official, like we talked about a couple days ago. Yates passed that physical, so the Dodgers have now signed Kirby Yates. That's right, he is a Dodger, but now they're going to have to make room for Kirby Yates. They're going to have to make room for him. And like the player that I have been talking about this entire time, this past week, well, now it's been confirmed. One potential trade candidate is Ryan Brasier, who was reportedly already being shopped around by the Dodgers, right? We've talked about that. The Dodgers have been trying to shop around Brasier, who got hurt last year, didn't play a huge role, with the team last year, due to his injury. He joined the Dodgers in the middle of the 2023 season, which was a couple years ago, but he had a lot of injuries last year, just appearing in 29 games, and had kind of a high ERA, a 3.54 ERA, which is a bit high for a relief pitcher. And Brasier is owed $4.5 million, and of course he enters his final year of team control. And this is obviously, I think, the perfect time to trade Ryan Brasier, right? Because his value hasn't diminished too much. Of course, he's getting up there in age, but with Kirby Yates already part of the fold, I think this is a good time to trade Ryan Brasier. Brasier would be a valuable asset to any team's bullpen. Newsweek's sports Drew Von Schio predicts that the Dodgers reliever will end up with the hated Houston Astros. The trade would send Brasier to Houston in exchange for right-hander Miguel Ulloa, who was the Astros' number 8 prospect in 2024, and cash considerations. Now, I don't know if I buy this. Ryan Brasier is going to get traded. I do believe that. I do think Ryan Brasier is going to get traded due to the fact that, the Dodgers signed, Kirby Yates, right? I mean, I think it's obvious that there's no room for him, right? And there's other players that they could, like I saw some comments, Michael Grove, but Grove is a player that is still, has a lot of potential. We don't know exactly, what he could be still, right? So I think, trading Ryan Brasier is a player that's already, he's on the way out, right? He's already 37 years old. I mean, he probably has maybe one year maybe left where he could, put up some good numbers. But to say he's going to be around for 2 to 3 more years is unlikely. And I think that's why the Dodgers are more willing to, trade Brasier, right? I think that is the given right there. I think that's the reason why they want to do it. But what I'm a little bit shocked or a little bit kind of on the fence about this latest report from Newsweek is Ryan Brasier going to Houston. Right? Would the Dodgers really trade Ryan Brasier to the Houston Astros? Right? Would they really make a potential candidate to go to the World Series better, right? Because the Astros are still, if you look at the American League, they're still up there, right? I mean, come on, look at the American League West. Sure, the Texas Rangers won the World Series a couple years back, but the Astros are still in the conversation to win that division, right? And in baseball, you win that division, anything can happen, right? Your pitchers get hot. You got a good bullpen. Ryan Brasier, part of that. And the possibilities are endless, right? So that's why I just cannot buy the idea of the Dodgers trading Ryan Brasier to a potential contender. What do you guys think? Comment below. Do you guys think the Dodgers would trade Ryan Brasier to the Houston Astros knowing that they could potentially play the Astros in the World Series, right? I mean, that's obviously a possibility. This rematch could happen. I think a lot of us would like it to happen, right? I mean, think about it. It happened in 2017. The Astros cheated us of a World Series. Rob Manfred, the worst commissioner in sports, did nothing about it. And it never happened, the rematch, right, in the World Series. There was, of course, some matchups in the regular season, but, of course, in the playoffs, it's impossible because they're in separate leagues. But the World Series rematch never happened, right? That was now going to be 8 years this year. Hard to believe, 8 years this year since that World Series happened. So, I don't know. I just can't see, obviously the Yankees are still, I think are, in American League, you would think the Yankees, even the Red Sox, potentially with the new rotation, are favorites to get out of there. But American League is kind of wide open. Obviously, the National League, the Dodgers are clear favorites to go back to the World Series. I don't think anybody would agree, would disagree with that. I mean, we should sweep right through the National League. But in the idea that Ryan Brasier going to a contender just doesn't seem likely, in my opinion. I think the Dodgers are going to trade Brasier, but they're probably going to dump him to some team like they just did with Gavin Lux. What did the Dodgers do with Gavin Lux? They traded him to the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds are not likely to be a playoff team in 2025. They, of course, have been close the last few years, but they're still not quite there, and they didn't really do much this offseason to get better. So to say that Gavin Lux is going to be on a contending team is unlikely. Right? And the Dodgers didn't want to trade Lux to the Mets or something, right? The Mets or even San Diego, right? A team that could play him in the, that's playing them in their division. So they traded him to a team that I think, is not going to damage them in any way. And, like yesterday, we talked about a team that's potentially interested, the Washington Nationals. They are going to potentially be a great candidate for the Dodgers to trade, right? It's going to be a good team for the Dodgers to kind of trade players like Ryan Brasier because the Nationals, again, are not in the conversation to win the World Series. Now let's get to the next story. Alex Vesia and the Dodgers avoided arbitration. Dodgers and lefty reliever Alex Vesia have avoided arbitration by agreeing to a 1-year, $2.3 million contract with a club option for the 2026 season. This was reported by Fabian Ardaya of The Athletic. Vesia had filed for 2.35. The Dodgers countered with 2.05, but of course they met at 2.3 million, which is obviously, I think, pretty good for Alex Vesia. And what's good about this deal for Alex Vesia is that, he's got another $50,000 coming in form of a buyout on a $3.5 million option for 2026. And there's obviously some performance-based escalators. He can make, 175, that's going to push up this contract by $175K. To the value of $3.725 million. I don't know about money, but it seems like a lot of money to me. So I think Alex Vesia is happy, and we're lucky to have Vesia back with the Dodgers bullpen, which is going to be absolutely amazing to watch in 2025. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!